Anytime someone tells me that I need to see my role as a lawyer as a problem solver, I roll my eyes. You know what I am talking about. Things such as this quotation from the Bar and Bench newsletter of the Salt Lake County Bar Association, Winter 2009 issue. Quote, "If we remember that we are professionals working together to solve a dispute between two third parties, we are more likely to behave like professionals." End quote. We are quickly, though it seems imperceptibly, losing, if we have not lost already, a justice system, which is being replaced with a system of conflict resolution, which values merely ending a conflict over seeking a just resolution to a conflict. Few care about the triumph of right over wrong and instead focus on the most expedient way to, quote, "put the dispute behind us," end quote. Not every petty injustice inflicted upon us requires retribution. To forgive is still divine. However, when we ignore or condone enough petty injustice in the aggregate, or ignore or suffer injustice to the extreme, we cease to be human. Quote, "Vice is a monster of so frightful mien, as, to be hated, needs but to be seen. Yet seen too oft, familiar with her face, we first endure, then pity, then embrace." End quote. Alexander Pope, Essay on Man. There is no point in denying it. When a client hires a trial attorney, a litigator, that client is well past trying to compromise or reach a mutual solution with the opposing party. By and in hiring a lawyer, you've contracted with a hired gun to fight for you, and, you hope, win the war. Whether your decision to hire a lawyer for this purpose was premature, rash, or counterproductive is a separate question. Once you have hired a lawyer in a civil action, however, there is no question that you did not do so with the expectation or even the hope that your lawyer would sit down with the opposing party, and/or his lawyer, to negotiate. You hired a lawyer, not a negotiator. Your best defense became, at the point you retained counsel, a good offense. You hired your lawyer precisely because you, and the opposing party, could not solve the problem between the two of you. So when an opposing party's lawyer tells me that he sees himself as a problem solver, I immediately become skeptical and suspicious, and irritated, but I digress. First, when the person opposing my client identifies himself to me as a problem solver, I wonder why this opposing party did not or could not solve the problem before I got involved. I soon discover the answer to that question lies in the fact that solving the problem does not mean resolving the conflicts peacefully and promoting creative win-win solutions, but simply means capitulating to the opposing party. My friends, this is not problem solving. This is a sophisticated melange of extortion, attrition, and good old-fashioned hucksterism. It is akin to the following that I devised to explain the situation in stark, yet pathetically accurate terms.
Your money or your life?
You leave me no real choice.
Hardly. You can either give me your money or choose to risk death by refusing to hand it over.
This is not a just proposition. You have no right to my money, nor do you have the right to kill me if I resist your attempts to extort it from me.
It looks to me as though we have a genuine dispute on our hands.
That's what you call this? A dispute?
Ah, you are correct. My choice of words is inapt. I meant to describe this situation as a conflict.
A conflict? Not a hold-up. You are kidding, right?
Our problem is that we have opposing perceptions and interests. Rather than take a my way or the highway approach to our mutual problem, I prefer, and I am proud of this ethos, that we formulate and evaluate options together. I think of it as alternative dispute resolution. Now I propose that you either give me your money or choose to risk death by refusing to hand over your money.
That's ridiculous. I didn't pick this fight. You came out of nowhere, demanded my money without cause, and threatened to kill me if I don't hand it over. You have no grounds for simply taking my money from me, nor do you have the right to threaten my life if I don't comply with your demands.
Don't speak in such stark terms. They are inherently offensive to me.
Why not? Stark terms are not innately hyperbolic merely by being brutally accurate.
I respect the fact that we both perceive the circumstances differently, but let's seek common ground. And like you, I do not wish this dispute to persist any longer than necessary, and I would prefer not to fire a single shot. See, that makes me a problem solver and a peacemaker. I am offering you a way to resolve this dispute without a fight. Think win. Win. I benefit by getting the money I want, and you benefit in that your life is spared. To me, the reasonable course of action is clear.
But that's only because...
Silence. Look, I'm not going to justify my position to the likes of you. The longer we go over this, the worse it gets for us both. Neither of us has the luxury of wasting any more time over this. Are you interested in resolving this dispute or not? Life is too short, and in your case, could get much shorter any moment.
You are avoiding the question. I
am not going to argue with you. I am prepared to discuss how we can negotiate a compromise, not belabor the point. If you are not interested in compromise, then I'll shoot.
Gee, some compromise.
How are you going to explain your refusal to compromise to the judge in this case? This won't look good for you.
Me? Explain my refusal? You were mad.
No, you are the one getting angry, and you are trying my patience. If you don't agree to my demands, I am walking out of here right now. I meant I'm going to shoot right now. And it will be your fault.
I cannot oppose such logic. Here, take my wallet.
There, the conflict is resolved. And you had a hand in the outcome. You were empowered. And you know what? I don't have hard feelings. Aren't you glad you didn't roll the dice by fighting? One last question in parting. Is that a Rolex on your wrist?